Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Horman. I'm science faculty here at Broward College, and I'd like to welcome you to Anatomy and Physiology Lab. To make sure that we start off on our best foot, today I'd like to give you a tour of our D2L shell as well as Connect, which is our companion platform that we'll be utilizing for our lab manual, as well as access to our APR and virtual labs. Let's take a look. Upon entry in our D2L shell, you'll see your welcome announcement. That is where you officially will be introduced to your professor. Make sure to give it a nice read through. I also recommend that you take some time and go over the most important document in our class, which is going to be our syllabus. You can access the syllabus by simply clicking on the icon on the right-hand side, or if you travel up to the top menu, you can click on Content, and that will allow you to see all the different modules that we will be offering, including starting off with a Start Here syllabus and lab schedule. There you will find links to another welcome message from your professor. You will find the simple syllabus link. Now that one, take your time on. Read through it, understand what the lab policies are, what the resources are that are available for you. You also want to be well aware with our grading policy and of course our schedule. Make sure to note any due dates so that you are able to turn in your assessments on time and get as many points as possible. There will be a syllabus quiz that will need to be completed during the first week of class. Make sure to do that. And once again, if you're not sure, you have any questions, comments, concern, please reach out to your professor. I also encourage you to go ahead and complete the student introduction so that we can learn a little bit more about each other, share some fun facts about yourself, maybe you have some study tips, and engage with your classmates. Get to know them. Even though we're online doesn't mean that we can't interact with the classmates and the professor that are involved in our lab. Once you get through the Start Here folder, there are plenty of other resources that have been listed for you. So go ahead and take a look, for instance, at the Student Toolbox, where you'll find links to different academic resources, such as the Academic Success Center, which is fantastic for tutoring. They do mock practicals. You'll find a link to the Course Cafe, which is a discussion forum where you can reach out to your classmates, perhaps set up a little study group, or ask general questions that the professor can engage with you as well. You'll also find a link there to the library with a plethora of their resources. You will also be able to see a module on honor lock proctoring. Honor lock proctoring is what we'll be utilizing when we complete our midterm and our final in the course. It's a proctoring service. If you're not too familiar with it or you have any questions, please take a look at all the information that has been posted for you in this module, including at the bottom an honor systems check where you can test that your laptop or your tablet is fully set up for it and that there will be no issues when the time is for the graded assessments to be completed. We also have the AI experience. This allows you to have a personalized tutor through Copilot where you can ask any and all of your anatomy and physiology questions, get some better definitions, I should say, more detailed definitions, get some additional examples. Also, you can prompt it to come up with practice questions for you. So it's a great way to engage. Think of it like a little tutor or teaching aid that's on your side. Please do keep in mind that AI can sometimes get it wrong, so whenever in doubt, contact your professor. And if you're not too familiar with AI, don't worry. Within that module, you'll also find additional resources, such as BC's website, that'll bring you over, will explain how to properly use the AI, some examples of AI models, as well as our academic honesty statement, so that we can assure that we're using the tool in a responsible way. Once you're ready to engage with the content of the lab, you're going to notice that there are different modules set up that will correspond with the topics to be covered. Any module that you click on will start off with an overview. That is where you will find the learning outcomes and concepts that will be covered. You will also be informed what the required readings are, as well as instructions to best prepare for the lab. And of course, we have to give you the link to the ebook. So right over here where it's labeled e-text, that'll bring you right over to Connect, which, as I stated previously, is the companion website for our book, and that will allow us to read the ebook as well as access some of the graded content. Now, what you notice is that as you're perusing to the e-text, at the end of the lab exercise, you will have something called a lab practical review list. That is your study guide. That will identify all the structures that you need to know and that you may potentially be asked to identify when you're doing things like your quizzes or your practical. The practical review list has also been hyperlinked at a second location. You will find it right below the e-text links. It's labeled as the study guide exercise. And upon opening this, it'll give you a PDF version of the same exact document that you have at the end of the lab reading that will list all of the items and key terms that you are responsible for. Please utilize this as your study guide. And then the aim is for you to go back into the reading as well as use some of the other resources that we have, such as the PowerPoints, the 3D animations, to highlight all these particular structures and become familiar with it. Our lab is very visual, so you can expect that when you do your quizzes and your practical, that you'll be presented with an image of perhaps a slide, a model, or a dissection, and you will be prompted to identify whatever the arrow is pointing at. So as you're getting your study materials ready and you're prepping yourself, please make sure to also keep an eye on the spelling so that we don't lose points on that. You'll notice that besides the reading and the study guide that'll show you exactly what you need to focus on, you will also have PowerPoints with additional images of slides, models, short explanations, any and all resources that you think you could need. They're probably found in that PowerPoint. You will also have some lab tutorials to watch, as well as some graded content. The graded content is usually located towards the bottom of the module. And for the lab, you're going to notice that it's going to center around what we call APR, which is Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. It is a sort of show and tell assessment that will show you images that you can engage with and that will have a quiz at the end where you can garner points. And you will also be doing virtual labs through the Connect platform, and you'll also be taking a quiz. Now, to find out all the details about these graded assessments in terms of how much time do I have, how many attempts do I have, what is the format going to be, what is the point value, please reference the syllabus. We've also given you a brief overview of the directions below each of the links so that you can refresh your memory. But if you want to know more details, please look at the syllabus, but also feel free to contact the professor. I also want to point out something. Any of the links that have the little Lego block icon, that will bring you over to Connect, where you can then complete the assignments. Some of the items are on Connect, as you can see by the Lego block, and some of the items, such as our module quizzes, those are going to be right through D2L to be completed. Keep an eye on that time limit and prepare yourself before you start taking the assessment. That way you can maximize the points. As you complete your assessments and earn your grades, especially with the quizzes, if you would like to review the scores, please make sure to reach out to the professor and they will happily communicate back and perhaps set up a Zoom session so that you can take a look at how you're performing on the assessment. When it's time to take our midterm and our final, you're going to notice that there is a module set up directly for that. I'm going to go back over a little bit up just so I can show you all the different modules we have. And as you can see, our midterm as well as our final, all the way at the bottom right here, have their own individual model folder. And as you do that, you'll be able to see the link for it. And once again, all the directions that go into it. But the midterm is a little bit away. We're going to ease into it and get ourselves prepared as best as possible. So what we also provided for you are some tutorials. There's a module that will allow you to take a tutorial on APR assignments, those Anatomy Physiology Reveal, as well as the virtual labs. These are hyperlinked. Notice the little Lego icon, so that means it's going to bring you over to Connect. It is a non-graded item. They are set up for unlimited attempts, so this is a fantastic orientation and definitely should be on your to-do list during the first week of the course. Just to give you a little preview of what to expect, I'm going to go ahead over to the ebook, or the e-manual in this case, and see what it's able to provide for you. What you can do on your end is pick any of the modules. Let's start with the first one, right? That's where we're starting our journey. And remember, the goal is to hit the e-text because that will bring us over to the manual. If this is the first time using Connect, it will ask you to set up an account, and you only have to do that once because once you're signed in, the two platforms communicate with each other. And upon hitting the link, it will automatically bring you over to where you need to be. So through the magic of the instructor view, imagine that you click on eText and what's going to happen is it's going to pop open the manual for you. So here you go. This is our manual, and this will be the first stop that you're going to encounter. So whatever content you're covering this week, make sure that this is where you start. Take the manual, peruse through it, make any notations, and what you're going to notice is that you also have a read aloud function. You can change the size of the file. As you go through the reading, you're going to notice that there is a review section for you to practice with. I always like filling those out to make sure I understand all the concepts. And then again, you're going to have that lab practical review list, the study guide that I was mentioning before. So if you ever find yourself going, what do I need to know? What is the best way to prepare? Make sure you have access to this lab practical review list, and then go back into the lab manual. Take a look at the images, take a look at the PowerPoints, and of course, if you come across something that you're not sure about, if you want to have some more additional information, if you find that a resource isn't as clear or detailed as you would like to be, please reach out to your professor, because this is the list that we look at whenever we start composing our questions, when it's time for our quizzes, as well as for our practical. I also want to show you what an APR is going to look like. So I have one open, but remember on your end, you can just click on any of the APR links that are embedded within the modules. When you do your APR, this is a non-timed event. You have one full attempt. And what I mean with that is at the tail end of doing the APR, you're going to be asked to complete a quiz. So it is a graded entity. And what the APR is going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to see different images, such as right here, we have an Austian model, and it's going to allow you to highlight some of the structures we need to know. So what you'll be doing is on the left-hand side, you'll be clicking onto the items, and notice how it starts highlighting within the image where that particular structure is going to be. Take your time, peruse through it. Excellent, excellent resource. And whenever you're done with one activity, it's going to prompt you to go over to the second activity. The final activity within the group will be the completion of the quiz. For the virtual labs, there are no time limits. You're able to go back and forth as you'd like. It's been set up that you have 2 attempts. Please make sure to complete the tutorials before you actually start with the graded APR and the graded virtual labs. And that way you're best prepared and you don't feel a little bit rushed, even though we might be a little nervous. I'm sure it will be completely fine. So go ahead and take a few moments, peruse through the shell, click on the links, read through the syllabus, contact the professor with any comments, concerns, or questions that you may have. And of course, I want to wish you a very successful semester. I hope that you truly enjoy Anatomy and Physiology Lab in the virtual world, and I wish you the best of luck. Have fun, everyone. Goodbye.